The breaking news last night, big news, is that all of this with President Donald Trump was predicated by an understanding by the current president, Joe Biden, to give people in his administration basically a blank check to say that Donald Trump has no privilege at all to have any documents from any time of his presidency, period. It's insane. It was broken by John Solomon on Just the News last night. John's joining me now. John, good to have you.
Yeah, great to be with you, Steve.
This is a huge... We talked about this earlier today. We've talked about it a couple of times. This is remarkable. And I don't like the term unprecedented. People know that. But in this particular case, unprecedented is used too often in news media outlets. But in this case, first of all, the raid on Mar-a-Lago, unprecedented. The president, Joe Biden, saying, you can do what you want to get those records that you think you need for the DOJ, unprecedented, right? It's all amazing.
Yeah, it is. And we're living in uncertain times, right? Where this is probably going to end up in the court and there's going to be litigated and new precedent, legal precedent will now be created as a result of this. But Joe Biden has now, if you use the new Biden standard, any future president will be able to waive the executive privilege that existed for a prior president. So let's just put this in perspective. The next Republican president could waive Barack Obama's privilege on Benghazi or on Fast and Furious, two scandals where they claim privilege. They could waive the privilege of Joe Biden and all he did on Ukraine and his trips to Ukraine while his son was working for Burisma. They've opened up a Pandora's box here right now that future presidents and past presidents will not have the protection of executive privilege. And I don't think, at least the legal experts I'm talking to, believe that that's where the law currently stands today, that Joe Biden has created a new interpretation of the law.
Now, it seems to me, John, that this would not just apply to Donald Trump. If Joe Biden believes this is his power, he could go back and unseal George W. Bush or Richard Nixon or anybody else he doesn't like, right? Anybody else he doesn't like, we'll just, no privilege whatsoever. We'll just expose it all.
That's right. Yeah. No, listen, that's the concern that legal experts have right now. But there's a more fundamental concern here, which is in America, we don't expect our current president to use the legal machinations of the FBI and the Justice Department to go after the opposition leader. If the Justice Department and FBI want to go after a leader, they can do it on their own. They could have done a grand jury subpoena. They could have gone to a court to enforce it. They could have litigated the issue of executive privilege. But Joe Biden didn't go that route. He went the route of, you know what, I'll work behind the scenes with the Justice Department. I'll work behind the scenes with the FBI. I'll let them jump the legal fence that normally we face, and we'll get this accelerated investigation of Donald Trump. Why? Probably because an election clock is ticking in the Biden mind and in the Democrats' mind. There was another path that the Justice Department had. They didn't take it. They jumped the fence using the political powers of Joe Biden. I don't think most Americans feel comfortable with that idea. And by the way, most Americans suspected this even beforehand because the polls showed that this felt like a political vendetta, the raid. Now we know that Joe Biden was directly involved in it, and his people couldn't even tell us the truth when they were involved in it.